with another video back at you. If you didn't watch the latest unboxing of the MacBook Pro, go ahead and check it out right here. And of course, comment, rate, subscribe on that video as well as to this video and for future videos. So as you know, today is Tuesday. It is the end of March, and today Apple, as it usually does in March, had an event. This one was hosted at a high school in California and was done to a small group of students and teachers, really derived to bringing out a new piece of hardware as well as software that was more geared towards those students and teachers. Several of the updates that were released were iOS 11.3, a new version of iOS, a new iPad, and some updated software that's already there that is going to allow the new iPad and what it's going to bring to the table to interact with that software and work better for the students and teachers that are going to hopefully be using it. So let's start off with iOS 11.3. It's a new version of iOS that's supposed to set to roll out today, so hopefully we'll see that trickling down to you users here soon. Several updates in that one. Of course, they touched on it real briefly, didn't really dig deep into it, so I found some more information. One of those bits of information is going to be, it's going to actually give you better battery health information. We all know the debacle Apple went through lately with their batteries and slowing down the iPhones, and that's kind of came off the radar a little bit, but now they're starting to do something to give you a more in-depth sense of what's going on with your battery so that you can make your iPhone last as long as possible. New Animojis, we already know the Animojis that are out there. New ones are going to include, I think, a lion, a dragon, and a skull. So if you're into the Animojis, you're going to get some more. The ability to sync your hospital records now with the Apple Health app. I think that's going to be great moving forward with the health aspects. Of course, the spaces like Fitbit and Vivo and Garmin, those guys are going to definitely be stepping up their game, so it's good to see Apple getting in that game. I think the new version of Apple Watch is set to release at the end of this year, I believe, with watchOS 4. This is probably going to be a standard feature in there. It's going to be able to do all sorts of stuff. I even heard somebody say it's going to be able to do like blood glucose monitoring and stuff like that. So, you know, if these rumors are all true, then Apple Watch is set to be a very diverse health and fitness device. Apparently there's going to be music videos in Apple Music now. Not a huge update there, although it's nice to be able to include that. And of course, you're going to get a lot of other security updates and stuff with iOS 11.3. It'll probably change the look and feel of things a bit, but those were some of the major hitters in the iOS 11.3 area. So we'll go ahead and get to the major piece that was released. It was the new iPad. It's going to replace the current 9.7-inch iPad that sits between the Mini and the 10.5-inch iPad Pro. This new iPad now has an A10 processor, so a little bit of a speed increase. Of course, you know, Apple's standard's about a 20% speed increase and a 25%, motion processor increase. It is going to feature that A10, like I said, the M10 motion coprocessor. Now what's interesting is the A10 sits just a little bit below the 10.5-inch iPad Pro at the A10X. If I'm not mistaken, the 12.9-inch also has the A10X as well. So the differences between the two are negligible, really. So I think that most likely the 10.5-inch iPad Pro as well as the 12.9 will probably be on their way out the door at the end of this year when they probably release the new iPad Pro with the facial recognition and the notch and the 4K possible screen and all the other fancy features they could be coming out with. So it's actually set to be a very competitively priced area. So it's geared more towards the Chromebook users. The price is going to be $329 or $299. Now, I don't understand why you only take $30 off. The $299 is going to be for students and teachers, and of course, if you want the 128 gig version, you're going to be paying $100 more, $429 in typical Apple fashion. Now, the biggest thing that was announced was it's going to support Apple Pencil. Now, of course, the Apple Pencil is a standalone piece that costs $99 if you want that item, and it can get kind of expensive, especially when you're buying multiple devices for a school or for a class. You're talking anywhere from 10 to 20 students that are going to possibly need an Apple Pencil unless you're going to have them share, so that can get kind of pricey. But they also announced that there is a new third-party Logitech crayon. So basically it's an Apple Pencil, but it has orange bands on each side. Gives it more of appearance of a crayon, and it will support all the features that the Apple Pencil does. That comes in at $49, and is a little more easy to eat the price on if you're looking to get a stylus/pen for your iPad. There are 3 colors that come in that iPad. They are silver, space gray, and I believe a new version, the gold. So look for those second quarter 2018. And we'll be looking for sales to increase. Apple sales say that there is 43.8 million in 2017 compared to the 35 that they had projected. So Apple iPads seem to be increasing in popularity, and when they do that, they usually sell better. So having that nice competitively priced group of iPads with the iPad mini that could potentially be getting either booted or upgraded at the end of the year, or stay exactly where it is. Now you have this new iPad and the 2 Pros. So with the new iPad comes a bunch of software updates. One of the updates is going to be iWork updates. So we know that iWork is a group of apps developed by Apple, which includes Pages, Numbers, and Keynote, and it kind of works similar to Office 365 in the Windows environment. With that, the new iWork is supposed to get updates to support Apple Pencil. We'll see how that will end up working. Pages will now include a digital book creation tool that will let teachers and students build books together by adding pictures and hand-drawn notes. Teachers will also be able to mark up documents similar to grading a paper. So really, it brings grading and papers into a digital era where traditionally it was more brick and mortar or paper and pencil. It's going to be nice because, let's be honest, the kids growing up these days are in the digital age already, so handing them a tablet is going to be native to them, and being able to say, hey, go check out this link on this app, and I'll be able to grade it right there and mark up whatever was wrong or right is going to be awfully slick for schools. So there's going to be a new app called Schoolwork that allows teachers to manage their classrooms digitally, and they can hand out assignments, mark due dates, manage and assign projects, attach PDFs and links to projects, and grade all from the app. That sounds awesome. Like I said, bringing schools to the digital era can be expensive, but it's some move that probably should be made, and it's going to engage the kids a little bit more, get them more apt to get into that mode of, hey, I can do my work because this is pretty cool. I'm able to just take an iPad home and read it and have my teacher grade it and mark it up and do whatever else needs to be done. So I think that's really awesome. Like, book authors will be able to include photos, videos, and graphics from Apple Pencil and share finished books into iBooks. Apparently, Apple is willing to update student iCloud's accounts to include 200 gig of storage by default, which is a huge increase from the standard amount you get without buying any additional. I think that's great. I think students should be encouraged to store everything on the iCloud. We know that the Apple ecosystem includes it, and it's something that everybody should use. So giving students more ability to put their documents out there and to save all their homework in one place not only makes it easier to keep everything together, but it also makes it easier for teachers to be able to manage their classrooms like we were talking about earlier. Students can also use AR apps, and we'll get into AR a bit in a second here, to illustrate and envision math or science concepts, and use apps to create audio reports. Everyone Can Create is a new Apple initiative geared at making the iPad the ultimate classroom tool for students and teachers to be able to express themselves and digitize the classroom, which again has been a long-standing paper and pencil, brick and mortar type of deal. That could be expected to do a full rollout in the summertime. Interesting, but also good. It allows it to be perfected before the next school season. Schoolwork is scheduled to launch in June, from what we hear. So one of the other updates that was announced was ARKit improvement. Of course, AR is augmented reality, and Apple's finally starting to get into that space, along with home automation as well. And one of the updates is apparently it's now able to recognize vertical surfaces and place virtual objects on the wall like a vertical surface. Of course, a wall would be a vertical surface, and interact with them from the phone. One example I saw, which was really cool, was being able to virtually dissect a frog. Of course, they had the table that, just like this, they were able to place the virtual object on the table and dissect the frog, literally interacting with what was there, and it would walk them through and tell them all the pieces, the anatomy of the frog. It was awesome look and feel, and it seemed like it was a pretty cool bit of kit there. It can also integrate with real-world images and make them into AR experiences. A couple of those options would be filling up a museum with interactive exhibits or bringing a movie poster to life. So can you imagine having a poster behind me and being able to bring that to life in a video? So maybe having something jump off the poster onto a table and move around would be pretty awesome. Or having an entire museum in a portrait type of setting and having everything come to life inside that. I think that's awesome. Again, it's going to engage students, it's going to engage teachers, it's going to engage creators, content developers. New apps are going to be coming out to support it, and it's going to just drive tech to a whole new area that I'm really excited to see. So a couple of the specs of the iPad. It's going to have the A10 Fusion chip, the M10 coprocessor. It's going to have 2-speaker audio versus 4-speaker audio. It's going to have Wi-Fi plus cellular. It's going to be about the same specs and just a little bit less graphics, probably just due to the size, at 2224 by 1668 resolution versus 2048 by 1536 on the 10.5-inch iPad Pro. It's going to have the 264 ppi, same as the 10.5-inch iPad Pro. So if you were looking for the specs of that iPad, there you go. So there you have it, really. We got iOS 11.3, we've got new ARKit advancements, we've got a new iPad, and of course, all this is just going to be reviewed in the coming months by me and other YouTubers out there. Of course, you got to look down the road to September. So what can we expect in September? Well, rumors have it we're going to get 2 new iPhones. They're both going to have possibly no notch, possibly a notch. We're not really sure yet on that. There's going to be 2 new sizes from what we hear. I guess we shouldn't say it's certain until it is in the books. There's going to be the size we have now and then a bigger 6-point-something-inch display. New iPads are also set to release, or a new iPad. I would assume that they're probably going to replace the 10.5-inch and the 12.9 with the new iPads. They're probably going to be quite pricey, especially when you put that facial recognition in there, and probably make it possibly glass back, although that would probably really affect the rigidity of it, and we'll have to see what they come out with. Of course, September's a long way away, and we can only think about the rumors and what's going to come out. Of course, March is right between the two, and then of course we've got the WWDC in June, so we're going to see a lot of app updates and new ARKit possibly there too. It's a big old developer conference, so look forward to that. I'll be reviewing that in June as well. So really, that's all I got for you. It's come, it's went, the March event's over. It was underwhelming, but it also came along with the typical Apple releases. Some that we can definitely get behind and enjoy. And if you were looking for the iPad and weren't going for the Pro, this would be the time to get it. I really think that this is a fairly significant upgrade to the iPad. We'll have to see what they do with the Mini and, of course, the Pros if that's where you're at. But obviously, get yourself an iPad if you were thinking about it. The price is good, the updates are good, and the apps that are coming along with iOS 11.3 make it a huge thumbs up for me. So like I said, guys, if you didn't watch the video about the MacBook Pro unboxing, go ahead and click it here. And if you don't watch my channel, go ahead and subscribe and comment and rate and do everything you could do to follow this channel, because there will be a lot of new tech and sports videos coming at you soon. I've got a new unboxing coming up here of a device that's pretty controversial, but is also underwhelming in its own way. And I've got the full review of the MacBook Pro coming up here as well. I've also got a new baseball bat coming, so comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Again, thanks for watching. Peace.